Hey everybody. Today, Rahdo runs through Shakespeare, which is a game where players are effectively sort of Shakespeare wannabes in the time of Shakespeare, trying to prepare to put on the best play of their career so they can impress the queen. That's what we're going to be doing. Now, this game takes place over 6 rounds. It's basically 6 days with 2 chances at a dress rehearsal leading up to when we actually put on our performance. And if we want to have the best performance and impress the queen, we need to have a really great set. We need to have actors with really awesome costumes. We need to improve the quality of the first act, the second act, and the third act of our play. And we have to make sure that the morale of our troupe stays up, because if it falls down, well, they'll put in bad performances and we will start suffering for it. So there is a lot of stuff going on in this game, and I'm going to be doing a 2-player run through today so you can see what it's all about. Now, before the game actually starts, before we start the first round, well, you have to choose randomly who is first player. And so I'm first player, Jen's second player. That also puts me first and Jen second on the, what's it called? The initiative track? I think it's, yeah, the initiative track. Oh, also, this is a weird thing. I'm not 100% certain because the rules never say, but because this $5 spot starts out discolored, I'm assuming everybody, or not dollars, victory points, I'm assuming everybody starts with 5 victory points, because it is possible right from the get-go to actually lose victory points if it's looking like we're going to put on a bad show. But the rules don't say that, but I'm almost positive that must be the case. If I'm wrong, I'm sure Paula will note it. But anyway, so we start with 5 points, a crappy first, second, third act. We have one tradesperson who can either build the set or work on costumes, our choice. We have ourselves, we are the author, and we will also be acting in our own play, so we can, basically get a costume, but we can also be called upon to improve the quality of the play. And then we have one other actor who's going to be playing Falstaff, who, well, he's a bit of a joker hanging around the Globe Theater. He can improve the morale of the troupe if we use him. And then finally, we also have the ear of the queen, who can, if we ask her, can give us some money, because at the end of this week, at the end of the game, we are going to have to pay the salary of any tradespeople or actors we hire. Me, my best buddy Falstaff, my cousin who works for me, and the queen, you don't have to pay salaries on them. But all the other cards you'll get over the course of the game, you need to pay them at the end of the game, or you will lose points, as you might imagine. So that's the situation. We're ready to go. But before we start, everybody in reverse turn order. So since I'm first player, Jen is the second player, will get first dibs on one of these. And so like this is a guy who is really good at set design. And because he's got a big old level 6, he can get 6 points worth of sets. He's going to cost $3 at the end of the game. And so by the end of the game, if I haven't gotten $3, earned $3 to pay him, then I'll lose 2 points. This is Juliet, and she is an actress who also, I guess she's kind of a struggling actress, because she is capable of actually working on costumes as well. The square, a number with a square is working on the set, a number with a circle is working on costumes. So she can improve the quality of the play, specifically the first act, which is the red act, and but she can also work on costumes. Now, before I go any farther, for folks out there who are, tutting at their screen saying, hey, wait a minute, in Shakespeare's time, women did not get to be actors. Female roles were played by young men. Actually, the interesting thing is the rules directly acknowledge that. They have this whole section on the last page talking about theme, and they do actually address the issue. They know that, strictly speaking, this would be a man, but they chose to take some artistic license because they wanted these cards to be about the role that is being played. Who is the character, not so much about the actor playing them. So anyway, just as an aside. So anyway, Jen gets first dibs on any of these. So this is an actress who improves the quality of the first act and can help work on costumes. This could give a really big boost to working on sets. This is an assistant who doesn't do anything except, he costs $1 at the end of the game, and he assists anybody else. So he could assist her to do more costume work, or him to do more set work, or him to do more costume work or set work. So assistants are really cool too. And then over here we have Hamlet, who, well, Hamlet is interesting. He's expensive. All of these cards are either going to cost $1, $3, or $5 at the end of the game. So this is one of the best ones, because it costs a lot. He has the potential to improve the second act, the yellow act. He also is so good that he has the potential to hurt the morale of your opponent and drag them down when they hear just how good this guy is. So he's really interesting. And since Jen gets first dibs, I think Jen will go on ahead and take this guy. Now, Jen's going to need to pony up $5 by the end of the game, but she'll have plenty of opportunity to earn money over the course of the game. So now Jen has 3 actors. So she's taking one, and now me as the other player. And of course, if there were 4 players, as the first player, I would get last dibs. But let's see here. Which one do I want? You know what? I think I'll go on ahead and take an assistant because he's just good across the board. So that is my first person that has joined my troop. All right, and for more players, these would have been taken, but as it is, they are out of the game. Now, we are truly ready to start playing. So the first thing that happens every round is we set up the board with, there's going to be 4 new, and this is, basically it's 2 plus the number of players. So in a 2-player game, there's 4. In a 3-player game, there's 5. In a 4-player game, there's 6. So here's Othello. Here's Titania. Here is a costume maker, a very good costume maker. 8 points worth of costumes when you activate her, but she costs $5. And here is a jeweler, which is very, very valuable, but it depends on, because he can basically work on sets or costumes, again, square or circle, but he doesn't work on regular stuff. He only works on like gold embroidery and stuff like that. So he can bring in the gold, but that's only worthwhile if gold is available. So when a round starts, we've already got new hires, and we also have to find out what pieces of sets can we build and what costumes can we make. So in a 2-player game, you can see right here it says every round 6 are going to come out. 6 costume pieces and 6 set pieces. So let's just go ahead and grab some. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, that's a bunch of really low quality stuff. Let's dig a little bit deeper, see if we can find something good in here. Bag, let go of my hand. And okay, that's a 5. That's a bit nicer. Let's see. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we do the same for, shake this bag up a little bit. The same for sets. Alrighty, a 1, a 2, a 5, 2 more, a 3. Ooh, a purple. That's interesting. And a 4. Okay, so we put all these in. And we have now added all of the elements that are going to be available to us in the first of 6 rounds. And we're going to be competing to get the best stuff as fast as we can. Okay, so these are the sets we can build, these are the costumes we can make, and these are the new troop members we can hire. Alrighty, we are now ready to go. Let the, the play's the thing to win the conscience of the king. Righty, so let's get going. First thing that happens every round is we do a blind bid. Everybody has 5 worker discs, and these worker discs represent how I, as the author, lead actor, troupe runner of this thing, the Shakespeare of this production, am going to divide my time. So if I'm really busy, I could go on ahead and activate 5 cards. As it happens, I have exactly 5 cards. I've got my assistant, I've got myself, I've got Falstaff, the kind of happy-go-lucky actor, I've got my tradesman, and I've got the queen. So, although it's interesting, the assistant is special. As a card, you cannot, he automatically passively helps other people, like this guy. So, as it stands right now, I've only got 4, I could do 4 actions this turn. And I could talk to all 4 of these people and activate those 4 things. Now, one thing that's going to happen this round is I'm going to do a certain number of actions, anywhere from 1 to 5, depending on how many of these I bid, and I am going to have to recruit. Every round, you must recruit 1 more card. So, over the course of the game, you're going to pick up 6 more of them, which means you're going to be incurring more and more and more costs, depending on if you get cheap ones or expensive ones. Well, the interesting thing is, if, I don't want to pay $3 or $5 because I don't think I'm going to have enough money at the end of the game. Instead of recruiting her to be a very expensive seamstress, I could instead flip the card, and this is an extra. An extra doesn't cost me anything, and I can still give him a nice costume so that he can improve the quality of the play. Even though he doesn't have any speaking lines, if he looks good, the play will be better. So that's always an option, but every round, I must do however many actions I have bid, and I must recruit 1 person. That's what's going to happen. And everybody decides in secret and reveals at the same time how many actions they're going to plan to do. And that is a tricky decision because whoever reveals, when everybody reveals at the same time, whoever reveals the fewest, they get to go first. They become the first player, and when they become the first player, they immediately score a point. And so that means if you're first in every round, if you always bid less than everybody else over the 6 rounds, that's 6 points you've made for you at the end of the game. And that's not nothing when at the end of the game you're going to be scoring, maybe, in the mid to high 20s at the most. So you want to bid lower, so that you can become first player. And get first dibs on all this cool stuff. But you want to bid higher because you want to do more action so you can get more done, because we've only got 6 days to prepare. And so that is one of the central things that this whole game pivots around. How much stuff are you going to do? Now, so both Jen and I have to think about it, and we can decide this based on, if I want to go first, if I really want to get this jeweler, because there's one, and he might be the only jeweler who comes out for a while, I might want to bid lower so I could get him. But here's the interesting thing. There is a jeweler, but there's no gold pieces. There's green and gray and pink and purple and blue and green and black. If any gold pieces had come out, and because gold pieces of a set or gold elements of a costume, they score you points at the end of the game. And like I said, this is a low-scoring game, so every little bit you can get helps. If I recruit this jeweler, I will not be able to use him this round because there will be no gold to get out. But you know what? Next round, gold-plated stuff might come out. And next round, there might not be a jeweler. So, do I want to go quick first to get him? Or do I want to go first quick so that I can grab this purple set? Purple sets have a special power as well. You can see they've got the little depressed, the low morale, the frowny face theater icon. At the end of a round, anybody, if a purple set piece comes out, at the end of the round, whoever didn't get that drops in morale, because purple is the color of royalty, and so your troops' morale will drop if they find out you had the opportunity to build a purple set and you didn't. So whoever gets this doesn't lose morale. That's a big deal. There is only one of them. Maybe I want to make sure I bid low so I can grab that. Maybe I want to be sure I can bid low so I can be the first to grab this really valuable. There's only one valuable piece of costume. All the other stuff is really low rent stuff. And the better the costumes, the better your show, the more points you'll get at the end of the game. So there's all this stuff to think about. Do I want to be first and score a victory point and get first stuff at the expense of losing actions? Well, you know what? I think I do. So, although there's another thing too. If you have a tie, if Jen and I both say reveal at the same time 4, that tie is broken by the initiative track. And currently, I break ties. So really, the onus is on Jen to try to underbid me, because if she bids the same amount as me, I will both do the same amount of work, but the tie will break in my favor. So me, knowing that, I could go on ahead and say, hey, you know what, I'll just go on ahead and bid 5. And then if Jen bids 5, you know what, well, the tie will break in my situation. But then I think, oh, what if Jen does 4? So maybe I should do 4. Plus, I've also got to bear in mind, the one guy I've got, I can't put him to work anyway. So maybe I'll go on ahead and do 4, because I myself will work, I can go visit the queen, I can do him, and or, because I'm going to have to hire somebody, I could activate them as well. And that'd be 4 actions I'm doing. But then, and if Jen does 4, then I win the break. So what the heck? I think I'm going to bid 4. So I put my fist out and wait patiently for everybody else, and then everybody's going to reveal at the same time. So we know I'm going to reveal 4. Now Jen, meanwhile, she's thinking about all this too. How desperately does she want to go first? Because she knows I'll break the tie. So she knows if she chooses 5, there's no way she's going to go first. She loses a point, and in this game, a point is a big deal, and she doesn't get first dibs on stuff, which means she may very well lose that purple. But you know what? If I go first and I get the purple, that means Jen gets first dibs, because we're going to take turns grabbing stuff. So, I mean, even if you don't get first dibs, second dibs ain't bad, and getting to do 5 actions is a pretty big deal. Yeah, particularly if one of your actions is to activate Hamlet, so that if Jen loses some morale because I get the purple set, well, I'm going to lose some morale too, because Jen will have Hamlet do a little bit of rehearsal, and that will depress my people so much because he's just so good. Oh my goodness. So the thing is, Jen figures it's not worthwhile going for 4, because if I go for 5, going for 4 is worthwhile because she wins. If she goes for 5, she knows she loses, but she gets to do more stuff. But it's a safe bet to say, well, I know this too, so maybe I went for 4. So if Jen really wants to go first, maybe she wants to go for 3. But then she is not going to get very much done in this first turn. But there's another twist to all of this. At the end of your turn, say Jen does 4 things. 3 of the 4 people that she activated with her 4 discs will become exhausted and won't be able to do anything next turn. So if on a given turn you do a lot of stuff, on your next turn you're not going to be able to do as much stuff. So I think with that in mind, Jen's going to be a bit sassy. She's going to go on ahead and bid 3. So we all reveal at the same time. I reveal 4. Jen reveals 3 because she knew she had to break that tie. And then I'm shocked. Oh my gosh! So that's it. Jen has 3 actions she gets to do this turn and 2 that she won't. I have 4 actions, but Jen gets to go first. All right, so the bidding portion is over, and now begins the action. Jen gets to go first. On your turn, you have a choice. You can either deploy one of your discs to any card you have already done to, gain the favor of the queen, to build a set or costumes, or both, to do a little rehearsal on the play and increase the quality of your play, or to just kind of pal around with Falstaff and joke and drink and improve the overall morale, or ambiance it's called, the ambiance of your theater. So I think Jen is, because she went first, she's going to come over here, and so she is visiting her craftsmen. She now has 4 build points to spend on any combination of sets and costumes. So she could spend it all on sets, all on costume, but what Jen's going to do, she's going to spend 3 of it on this purple set, and now she has 1 left over. She'll spend 1 of it on some costume. So that was Jen's first turn. Now, the costume, she can give it to herself, to Falstaff, or to Hamlet over here. Once 3 of these chips have been put on, that character has a complete costume and you'll get a bonus. But only if the total value of the costume is good enough. A 1 to 5 costume is useless. Nobody cares. But if you have at least a 6 or 7, hey, that's going to translate to extra money your play will bring in on show day. So, Jen's got to decide who to give it to. What the heck? She'll just give it to herself. All right. And more importantly, she is now going to build this set. And as soon as, costumes don't give you anything immediately, but once you complete a costume, you get bonuses. And having a completed costume also gives you bonuses on round 4 and 6 when we do dress rehearsal if you've got complete costumes. Sets give you bonuses immediately. So Jen's going to go on ahead and build this right now. And so that bonus is immediately everybody except for Jen has to drop 1 on their morale track. So at the beginning of the game, I was kind of at neutral morale. Nothing bad or good was going to happen, but now I've dropped. And so, at the end of this turn, 1 of my levels of my play is going to drop by 1. Now, that's not that bad because right now, we're at 0 on everything. But if I was going to activate myself to increase the quality of my play, in fact, actually, oh, that's interesting. Yeah, Jen can't. So for Jen to buy this right now, she won't actually be able to hurt me because I haven't risen at all yet. So did Jen want to chase off after that thing that badly? Maybe not. You know what? I think instead of taking this, because you can't drop your... what am I talking about? It's not the quality of the play, it's the morale. And right, so I'm potentially going to lose quality of my play because my morale is dropped. But that's only if it rises. If it doesn't rise, I don't have to worry about it. So we'll see. But anyway, so Jen grabbed that. She grabbed some costume. That was her first move. Now, on your turn, you can either use one of your people, which Jen did, or you can recruit somebody. And since Jen, her first action was to get some stuff by activating this guy, my first action is up now. And so I could get first dibs on this stuff. I can get second dibs on this, or, now here's another interesting thing. The first player to activate one of their actors, the first player to do that takes the initiative. The first player who does some rehearsals with their act, runs some lines, will take initiative for next round, which means you can break ties. And breaking ties is hugely important. So, do I want to be the first person to activate an actor so I can hold on to initiative? Because right now, our initiative for round 2 has not been decided. So I could be first over here. But if I do this, I'll raise my play by 2, but I know it's going to drop by 1 because of the morale hit we've had. But you know what? If I hit this guy, if I hit Falstaff, my morale will climb back up to where I'm actually earning money. So, and if I hit him, not only do I get rid of the negative that Jen hit me with, but I will also grab initiative. So what the heck? I'm going to do that. I'm going to go for Falstaff. That raises our morale because he's just a fun-loving guy. Look at him. Of course he's fun. And because I've activated an actor, I was the first to do rehearsals, I take initiative. And so now in round 2, I will break ties again. It is Jen's turn now. She has 2 more actions she can do, plus neither of us have actually recruited. We have to recruit, and Jen has 2 more actions. I have to recruit, and I have 3 more actions. So let's keep going. What is Jen going to do next? Well, she got the thing she really wanted, that she actually underbid so that she could get first. She wanted to avoid that morale hit. Let's see. Now then. All right. So nobody's recruiting yet, so she probably wants to go ahead and grab... oh, wouldn't that be cool to have Hamlet and Othello in the same play? That would be pretty cool. And this guy, he is an actor who improves the quality of your play, and he can also work on costumes, kind of like Juliet, who nobody ended up taking. Or I'm sorry, no, he can work on sets. So, does Jen want to grab that? She could grab Titania, who basically, when she rehearses, it increases the morale of the troupe. So that's actually really cool. Now the best of these, because it costs $5, is this seamstress who can do 8 points worth of costuming. And 8 points is a lot, but hey, here's 5, 6, 7, 8. If you have the seamstress, you could use her and get all these costumes and start making a really kick-ass costume that can bring in a lot of extra bonuses for you, because the people will love that costume. So I think Jen's going to be the first to recruit. Jen was the first to grab the negative thing, and she can flip this now because it was just part of her stage. And I was the first to rehearse, so I grabbed initiative. I think Jen will now be the first to go on ahead and hire somebody. These are all good hires. The jeweler is tough to... Because we could go like 3 days without ever actually getting any gold stuff out, in which case the jeweler is useless. But by the same time, next turn could be gold, and there might be no jeweler. So does Jen want him? No, you know what? I think Jen is going to go for Titania. She loves the idea of keeping her morale up. So her play now stars herself, Falstaff, Hamlet, and Titania. All right. So that was Jen's second move. She's done her recruiting. And now, everybody has one of these cards. When you recruit, you're supposed to put this here to indicate that, okay, Jen has finished with her recruit now. She can't recruit anymore. I've got one of these too. Now, in a 2-player game, it's not really necessary to do that. It's pretty easy to remember who has done it. But I can imagine with a 4-player game, you might start losing track of, wait, have I recruited or not yet? Towards the end of the game, when you've got, like 4 or 5 people here, and you're, wait, have I recruited yet? You can just look and see because you've put your thing out there. So anyway, so Jen has done her recruiting, and the blue player's done her recruiting. Now it's my turn again. I've still got 3 actions, and I've got to do recruiting. I don't have to rush on doing any more recruiting, though, because I've got access to all of these. So what do I want to do instead? Do I want to grab something else quick? Let's see here. Well, the interesting thing is, I know that Jen cannot get any more sets or costumes because she doesn't have anybody who will do it. She's used her one guy. So I don't have to rush on that. I don't have to rush on that. So I think, but I will go on ahead and recruit. And I think I'll recruit this awesome seamstress. So all the recruiting is now done. Let's see, let's put her over here next to the queen. And this is going to cost me $5 at the end of the game, but it'll be worth it. All right, so that was my turn. I've done my recruiting. Now, Jen has 2 more actions. She will go on ahead and use one of her new actors. And now, this improves this rehearsal with Hamlet improves the quality of the second act, and it also demoralizes us. So we have fallen back down to where we're not getting a bonus anymore. Yikes. Okay. My turn. And now, I mean, we're no longer competing for stuff because Jen can't get any more of the stuff I want. So I'll go on ahead and use my new seamstress I just hired. I have 8 points to spend on costumes. I will spend it and get all of this greatness. Let's see. And this is enough to completely costume somebody. So let's go on ahead and I'll costume myself. So that's 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 is a nice costume. It's high enough to get me $1 and 1 victory point. Let's see. Oops, I forgot, by the way. Jen was the first player. Remember? I forgot to mix this around. Jen was the first player because she underbid. And that gave her 1 point at the beginning of the turn. So she was in the lead, but I have just made an awesome costume which gives me 1 point and $1. And money is incredibly tight. So I've now got the $1 I need to be able... Oh, wait, I forgot. Okay, so this seamstress has a value of 8. But because I have an assistant, all of my craftspeople, her and him, have 1 more. So this seamstress really has a value of 9 because of the assistant. And by the way, this money I made is going to pay for his salary at the end. So yeah, I had $1 more to spend, 1 more point to spend on clothing. So what the heck? Let's say, you know what? Yeah, let's say I grab this other one so I can start clothing Falstaff as well. So I'm well on my way to costuming thanks to the assistant who helped her out. So that was my turn. Jen's last action. So she could increase her morale, which will improve the quality of her first, second, or third act, her choice. The white feather is a wild card. She could activate herself and increase 2 acts, or 1 act twice. She could activate Titania, increase one act of her choice, and increase her morale, which will give her a buck. She could activate Falstaff, increase her morale twice. She could activate the Queen, and the Queen gives you a choice. You can either make $4, which is one of the main ways, getting a loan from a grant from the Queen, which you're going to need that money. Money has no purpose until the end of the game, when you have to pay your staff. And right now, Jen's going to owe $8 at the end of the game. So she could go to the Queen and start saving up some money. Or instead, she could go to the Queen and get a royal decree. She would draw 3 objective cards and keep one, and that would give her a goal that she is trying to pursue for the rest of the game, and that would inform her choices later. I think that's what she's going to do. She's going to give herself an objective. So she went to the Queen not to get money, but to say, hey, Queen, what do you like? And the Queen says, well, these are the 3. Jen is going to pick one. Now this one is, the player gets 1 point at the end of the game if they throw away $2. If you've got 2 extra money, I'll give it to charity, I guess, or something, you can get a point. If you throw away $5, but that's tough. Having a lot of excess cash on hand at the end of the game, that's going to be tough to pull off. But that's 1 or 2 points at the end of the game. This one is, oh my gosh, the player gets to, this is probably the coolest one. At the end of the game, the player can fire one of their troop, and so get out of having to pay. Now, if you don't pay your troop, you lose $2. So this is pretty much a guaranteed 2 points at the end of the game. And pretty much all of these things give you 1 or 2 points, all these objectives. I think one of them gives you 3 potentially, if I recall correctly. So this is a guaranteed 2 points, because Jen could say, hey, at the end of the game, I'll just fire you before I have to pay you $3. But instead, I think that means Jen would feel safer hiring an expensive person, because she knows at the end of the game she'll fire them before they have to get paid. And then this one is, okay, now this one is a set. If the total value of your set, and currently Jen's total value of her set is 3. If it's 26, you get a point. If it's 40, you get 2 points. And now to get 40, you would have to fill the whole thing up before the game is over with decent value stuff, but that's 2 points. There's another benefit. The more you build of your stage, the more you build up, you start getting victory points for building on the higher rows. But to be able to build up, you have to build pyramid style. You can't build here until you've built both the spaces down below. So building up is a tricky thing too. I think Jen's just going to go for the guaranteed. She will get to fire somebody. So because she knows she'll have somebody to fire on hand, and that'll score her 2 points. So that means effectively she needs less money at the end of the game. And so these other Queen's decrees or objectives go back to the bottom of the deck. That was Jen's last action. She has done her 3 actions. And now me, I've still got 2 more to go. I could go and get an objective for myself. Let's see. I could, let's see. Well, I think I'll go on ahead and improve the quality of my play. So I'm going to activate myself, and that means I can move forward on, I can move forward twice on yellow, or 1 on blue and 1 on red. I get to spend 2 basically. How am I going to do this? Let's go on ahead and, well, Jen's pulling the lead. Let's go on ahead and get 1 step up on her and pull into the lead on our middle act. Well, actually, you know what? Interestingly, during rehearsal, my first act will automatically improve by 1 since I'm in a full costume. If I get Falstaff in a full costume, my middle act will automatically improve on 1 by 2. Different act, Jen can improve any act by 1 with this actor. Different actors improve different things. I think I'm going to go on ahead and improve my 3rd act, because who knows, maybe I'll never get another way to improve the quality of my 3rd act. And once I make it here, I'm not going to lose a point, because if we don't get our 1st, 2nd, and 3rd act at least to this far, they'll be so bad we will lose points in our 2 dress rehearsals. So I've started to improve my final act by doing that. Jen's done. She can't do anything more. And my last action is, I'm going to come over here. Now he has a 4, but because I have an assistant, he's really a 5. I have 5 points to spend. So I could get this last little bit, this 2 points of costume, and get Falstaff almost done. Or I could spend 5 points, which is what I'm going to do. And I'm going to go on ahead and grab the best piece of set design you can possibly get, this big old 5. And the bonus I get immediately is one of these things. This is a +3 to any future trade work, either costumes. So later on, I could turn, this guy is currently a 4 + 1, he's a 5. I could turn him into an 8 in any turn I want. So I'm going to grab that, and so I can put this wherever I want. Let's see. Now the interesting thing about building is that you have to be symmetrical. And that's why Jen put this purple right here in the middle. If Jen had put the purple here, then over here she'd have to put another purple. If she put it here, she'd have to put a purple opposite. But putting in the center means she still has freedom to build whatever she wants on her side. If I build this over here, then at some point I've got to find another 5. And, and there are plenty of them. Let's see, here's a little reminder. In the game, there are 4 green set pieces. So I've gotten the first of them. There's 3 more. So chances are I'll be able to get another one. But do I not want to take the chance? I just put it here because in the center of space I don't have to worry about symmetry. But I want to build off to the side because I need to be able to build up by building, next to stuff. And there's already these 2 that have already been pre-built. But I'm going to go ahead and put it in the center as well. And so I've gotten that tradesman bonus, and I've started building my stage as well. And that's it, folks. We have finished the first round. Now, if we were in round 4 or 5, we would have a dress rehearsal right now, and we would score or lose points and potentially money based on the quality of our play and based on how many of our actors actually have full costumes ready. But we're a long ways away from that. We've only just finished the first round. So the last thing we are going to do is we are going to set up for the next round. Oh, wait, no. The next to last thing. We're going to set it for the next round. So we get our little guys back. Anybody that didn't get hired, they're gone. They are out of the game. All these set pieces are gone. This costume is gone. And now new stuff comes out. Bip, bop, bip, bop. And let's see. Come here, you. We get 6 new sets. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to be really bummed if I see some gold because I didn't grab that jeweler. And there's a gold, 4, 5, 6. Gold pieces of sets or costumes are awesome because they are worth victory points. And gold sets are wild cards. So if I put the 5 over here, I could put a gold over here and it would match. So gold stuff is very good, but you cannot pick up gold unless there's a jeweler. Neither of us grabbed the jeweler and no jewelers came out. And I'm kicking myself now. Alrighty, why did I get that seamstress? I should have gotten the jeweler. Oh well. 1, 2, 3, 4. And there's some gold costumes as well. No. 5, 6. And there's only going to be 4 gold costumes and 4. So we've just missed out because nobody got a jeweler. So that happened. And now we're moving on to round 2. We're going to have to refigure out who is going to be first player, but we have the initiative figured out to keep track. But before, the last thing we got to do now is I activated 4 people. 3 of them are now going to be marked as exhausted and will not be able to function next turn. So do I want to get rid of my seamstress? So actually, what do I want to do? Do I still want to be able to seamstress? Do I still want to have the general purpose constructor? Do I still want to have myself to improve the quality of my play? Or do I want to have Falstaff? Because only one of these 4 will be available to me next turn. And so I can look up here and see what's available. Like if I let her be tired, I can get another seamstress to make up for the fact that she's tired. I could get Beatrice. Ooh, I think I definitely want Beatrice because, and I'll be an actor. I'll put her to work. She will improve the quality of my play by 1. And the other thing is, whenever I activate her, if there's any green costumes, she can automatically grab them without having to spend costuming money. So I will say, right. So I'm going to stay exhausted. And let's see. I think since Jen's got this thing that she can hit me from morale, but I know she can hit me from morale, I'll let Falstaff be the guy. So I'll have him again so that I can improve my morale, which means him and her are exhausted. But I'm okay with that because if I can get Beatrice, I'll still get a really nice costume. All right. And if I can't get Beatrice, well, heck, I'll just start work. I'll hire him and work on my sets. Because, hey, look at this. Here's another green 5. And if I could get that, I'd have symmetry on my set. So that'd be something I'd like to pursue as well. And all of these different types of things. Like if I get a level 4 set, I improve my morale by 2. If I get a level 2 set, I get a buck. So they're all worth something. So I think I'll just keep Falstaff to keep my morale up. And so these 3 are tired. I just like putting them over the face, so I just don't, okay, they're dead to me. Without the face, they don't exist. Jen, she's got to make sure 2 of her people are exhausted for next turn. She already got an objective, so she'll say the queen is exhausted, and she'll say that Hamlet is exhausted, so that she can, this is her only tradesperson, so she'll keep him busy. All right, so, and that's it. We're ready to go for the next round. Everybody has to do the blind bid. We'll find out who's the first player, who scores a point, who gets first dibs. And there's a lot of good stuff out here. There's another level 5. There's another purple, by the way. Whoever doesn't get this purple loses morale. But hey, that's okay because I saved Falstaff. But Jen's got Falstaff, and she's also got Titania to help her morale. So there's a lot of interesting stuff going on. And if you'd like to watch a bit more, you can hit the little eye up in the top right corner of the screen to go to the extended playthrough or go to Final Thoughts. Your choice in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.